Okay, like I am I'm smart, I'm great, I'm powerful, especially when they want to achieve some things. So I want to ask a question. Use the first letter of your name to create something that represents you. Let me go again. Use the first letter of your name to create something that represents you. For example, my name is Ibifaka. I can say Ibifaka is intelligent. What's other thing again? Ibifaka is hey. Okay, at least I've said one, so please. I want to get yours. Use the first letter of your name to create something that represents you. Okay, so I've said mine. So Ibifaka is intelligent. That's the first letter of my name. And another one is not coming to my head. So yeah, I want to get yours in the comments. Use one letter of your name, the first letter. Okay, Valentine, welcome. My name is Valentine, joining from Abuja. My expectation is to know more about data science and how to comment. Okay, awesome. Welcome, Valentine. All right, I want to get your response. I'll be checking the comments. So use the first letter of your name. Use the first letter of your name to tell us about you. Describe yourself. And I've said mine. Ibifaka is intelligent. So yeah, what's yours? I want to get your response from the comments. I am watching, I'm looking. Oh, Salvation is smart. Awesome. Okay, so more responses, more responses. I'm waiting for your responses. Please, we have to be interactive. So please type, what's your expectation? I'm sorry, not your expectation now. Describe yourself rather. Okay. Oh, Adebayo attracts abundance. Wow, this is double. Thank you. Okay, Emilia is energetic Emilia. Wow. This is awesome. Awesome. Okay, I need more. I need more. I need more. Okay, that's awesome. And like I said, nobody is going to say bad thing about themselves. Um you can't use an adjective, a bad adjective for yourself because you wish yourself well and you also would want other people as well to wish you well. So the next thing, today our topic is the challenges of breaking into data. So before the speaker comes up, let's get your views. What do you think are the challenges that people face or you are facing while trying to break into data? So I'll share mine. The challenge I faced, one of the challenges I encountered while trying to break into data. And yeah, I think one of the challenges I experienced was not having a mentor, someone that will guide me. Okay, do this, do that. This is where you should follow. This is what you should do. This is what you should focus on. And it was a big challenge because I was trying to navigate everything on my own, attend online webinars just like you're doing now, follow people on LinkedIn, a lot of things. So I want to hear from you. What are those challenges you think? The speaker is going to be taking notes as well so that he will address everything here. So what are the challenges you think people face? People are um people are en encountering in their quest for or trying to transition into data, while trying to become data professionals. Yeah, I want to get your response in the comments. Okay, so I'm waiting for your reply. I'm waiting for your response. Okay, so I'm looking at the chart and I'm waiting for your response. What are those challenges you think people encounter while trying to break into data? I've shared mine, so I want yours. I want to hear from you. Oh, so yours is like mentorship, just like mine. Okay. Mentorship, as earlier stated by you, okay, not applying it into current job roles. That's very true. Mentorship is one thing because people are interested or they don't know how to go about it. You're learning about SQL, you're learning about Python, you're learning about Excel, Databricks, Apache. You don't even know where to start, right? Okay, so the speaker is going to address all this today. Then okay, and how to apply it in your current job. That is it again. That is another thing. Yeah, because you don't have to leave your current job, right? And start looking for, just immediately and start looking for a data analyst role, just like that, without building your skills so well. Okay, so yeah, I need more responses. So what are those challenges you think people face? Hey, please, guys, I'm reading your comments. I'm waiting for your reply. Okay. So maybe some persons have not already discovered the challenges and they want to find out in today's meeting. Okay, that's awesome. So everything will be tackled here today. I need you to get ready because I'm going to call on the speaker soon. So get ready, get your pen, get your paper, record, whatever you're going to be using to remember, to keep and to take note of the important points. So get ready. In just a few minutes, the speaker is going to take over and then we'll begin. Okay, I have another question here. How do we get employable after getting the necessary skills? Wow, this is a very important question, right? Because you have a lot of boot camps everywhere. You have free resources, you have paid classes, and not everyone tells you how to get a job, how to become employable after getting the necessary skills. So the speaker is taking notes, like I said. Yeah, so this question is very important. How do we get employable after getting the necessary skills? Thank you, Rede. Okay, we've taken note of that question. All right, it's time. Are we ready? If you're ready, send in your best reaction because this is going to be a banger, I'm telling you. Your questions will be answered. So send in your best reaction if you're ready for me to call on the speaker. So if you're ready, send in your best reaction and then I'm going to call on. Okay, awesome. Thank you. I've seen one reaction. I need more. I need more reactions. So I'll know that we are ready. We are ready. Okay. So I'm waiting for our reactions. You know when you want to invite, oh God, Ivy. You know when you want to invite a king and you need to clear the way you need to make sure that everyone is ready to welcome the king. Okay, so, oh, I've seen your reactions. Action. All right. Is this enough? I need two more. I need two more to convince me that you're ready to listen to the speaker. Two more reactions, and I'm going to call on the speaker. Okay. I haven't gotten, so. Okay, so more reactions, more reactions, more reactions. Okay, so more reactions. I've not seen. My heart is sealed. If I see two more reactions, I'm going to call on the speaker. The people in this meeting, your minds are strong too. Okay, I give up. I give up. I give up. So I'm going to call on the speaker. We have an amazing speaker today. Oh, thank you. You sent two at once. Maria, thank you. So we have an amazing speaker today. His name is Adedayo Iyanda. I hope you're ready for what is coming. He's going to share his experience with us. He's going to answer your questions. And yeah, so to answer all the questions regarding the challenges you are encountering or you've encountered while breaking into data. All right, I can't stand. So with clapping, with smiling ovation, I invite the speaker to the platform. Hello, Mr. Adebayo. Welcome.
Thank you very much. You keep saying Adebayo.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry, Adedayo.
yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Uh, Thank you everyone for joining the meeting. It's going to be an interesting one. Can you confirm you can hear me clearly? You can also see me. Please confirm you can hear and you can see me clearly.
Okay, your voice is clear. Your voice is sound. I can hear
Okay,
you.
all right. Thank you. Yes,
Okay, yeah, they're
so
saying they can hear you.
okay, okay, okay. All right, that's great. That's great. Can hear, we can see. Okay. All right. So let me just I'm going to share my screen and let's just, dive in. Okay, I believe you can also all see my screen. All right, so let me start by introducing myself. So my name is Adedayo Iyanda, right? I started this analytic journey, I would say professionally from 2019. 2019, yeah. Even though in my previous line of work, I'd always, done something uh, with data, right? But professionally, started in 2019. So today's going to be a very practical session. So feel to ask your questions. And, like I said, very practical. So yeah, I started in 2019. Currently, I work with a company called Leatherback. Now, Leatherback is a company that does, I'm pretty sure you guys have heard about uh, all those companies that do currency exchange. Yeah, cross-border payments. Yes, so that's who I currently work with. A lot of data, and it's not just Nigerian data, right? Different data here and there. I do have personal projects as well, but currently work with Leatherback, and I've worked with I think about 4 different companies as well. I've also worked in different sectors. Right now, I work in fintech, financial industry. I've worked in the power sector before. I've also worked in consulting before. So, and these are different types of data, but data is still just data. It's just information. So today we'll be looking at overcoming the challenges of breaking into this data world I just, talked about. I've seen a lot of your comments. Some people, during the time they were registering or already sent in their answers. We'll still, already sent in their questions. We'll be expecting them on the call as we go. And for us on the call, I've also seen your questions. I'll be, addressing them directly using my own personal life experiences. All right, so let's go. So what is data, right? What is data? 1 minute. Yeah, so what is data, right? Data basically just refers to raw facts, figures, or information that can be collected, stored, and analyzed, right? It can be qualitative, means, descriptive, like your name, matric number back then in school, right? Your state of origin, etc. Those are descriptive, qualitative data, right? Now, we also have the quantitative. These are basic numbers, any unit of measurement, basically, right? Those are quantitative data. Now, in the world of today, data has become like a fuel. And it keeps increasing daily because people come up with an example. Let's use our social media for example. There are different content every day, new content every day, right? And people have been doing content for a very long time. So data will keep growing. I remember when I wanted to start, uh, the first thing that came to my mind then was big data. So what is big data? I had to start, using Google to see here and there. As at that time, there was nothing like ChatGPT or all these AI things, right? Back then, if you wanted to know anything, you either use your Google, you also use YouTube, and then different websites, right? Where they have just documented a lot of things in there. So yes, that's how we started. So yes, I've explained what data is basically. Moving on. Now, people that want to break into data, you're always asking, where do you start from? You will have also done your research like I did mine. Like I said, I used Google, you know, listed a lot of things I need to achieve, but it was so overwhelming and trying to focus on what to learn at first, became very challenging. And I'm pretty sure now, based on the questions people have asked, right, getting that way to start, is always kind of challenging. And that is why we are here, right? Now, in the data world, right, it's filled with huge number of tools and platforms. You have the Excel, SQL, excuse me, Python, even R. We have Tableau, you have Power BI, for newcomers, it will be very difficult to figure out where to start. Now, I used to advise people start with Excel. Excel is the basic, is the simplest, is the oldest, right? And it has a lot of freehand. You don't need to you don't need to 100% technical if you want to use Excel. People in accounting use Excel. People in economics, people in different line of work, right? Even somebody on the roadside that is trying to do their form of accounting at the end of the day, e.g. a POS person, right? Yes, they might first draft on paper, but later on, they move to Excel once the business starts getting larger. And yes, they download statements. So in one way or the other, people have had to interact with something like Excel, right? Basic rows, columns, cells. And yes, SQL is just it's like a language, right? For me now, SQL is just like French, right? It's just like me learning something. Yes, at the beginning, learning these things were quite challenging because it just looked like, what are we even doing here? Like, how do I even relate all these SQL codes to real life, solving of business problems? You have Python, Tableau, etc. However, what I would advise, I've already said that, start with Excel. And then if you need to learn a visualization tool, you have the Tableau, you have the Power BI, there you have Looker, right? You have a bunch of them. You have a MicroStrategy, you have Oracle, but just learn one. Just learn one. You only need one, right? So for a start, you only need one, and I would suggest you either go for Looker or Power BI. But I think Power BI is more common. Is very powerful because it has its, it has its own language called DAX, basically, right? Now, start with Excel. If you need to move further, Power BI. Then if you need to move further, SQL. Now, I've done different jobs before that we only used SQL and Excel. Just SQL and Excel. So you learning just Excel already makes you ready for the market. It's just pointing you in the right, it's just looking, you need to be pointed into the right direction, because there are some companies, it's just Excel they use, and they're looking for data analysts. Even though some of them will go as far back, as well as putting different things within their CV, but I tell you, it's just SQL and Power BI that we used. Yes, the SQL is a bit advanced, but you take it one step at a time. But let me give us give me 1 second, please. Can you still see my screen? I think it will have left.
We can still see your screen, but the entire screen.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
because we're in Nigeria and these people have done
Oh, sorry.
they've done their worst. Yeah, so just give me 1 second, right, to get this back up. Okay, let me look for the slide. All right, can you see the slide now? Confirm you can see the
Yes.
slide. What
It's
did you
not
say?
up yet. No, we can't see it yet.
Okay, but can you see any of my screen?
Yes, we can see you, but your screen is not shared.
Okay, that means I need to share my screen first. Okay, let me share. Entire screen.
Okay, we can see your screen now.
Okay, back to the slideshow. Okay. Yeah, so I've talked about, this, but moving on, right? The learning curve. Now, data analysis requires a blend of technical skills, programming, SQL, we already talked about that, data wrangling, and analytical skills, e.g. statistics, problem solving. Now, the key, very key here is this problem solving, right? Because the major thing we are trying to do is to solve problems, right? Now, beginners often struggle with, mastering both, especially since there's a lot of information to absorb. Now, let me give you a typical scenario. Now, this data thing we're even talking about, let me take you through a journey, right? Now, remember when we were in school, when we're trying to do our statistics or maybe final projects or maybe your IT or whatever. Now, you had to come up with a questionnaire, basically. And then you had to ask, what's your age, gender, etc. And, asking questions relating to the project, you are doing. So now you have to then document, because after collecting the data, right, you need to now document the results somewhere else, and then somebody now performs analysis on it to get results. You get to see results of findings, etc. Things like that. Now, data was collected. Now, where was the data collected from? It was collected from in this case, human beings, right? Different human beings, maybe different locations. You might have a study area, etc. Now, the data is stored somewhere. All right. Let's move to the world of today. You do a Google sheet, a Google form, right? People fill it in. Data is stored somewhere in a Google Drive. Now, depending on what you are trying to resolve or the problem you're trying to solve, remember, there has to be a problem first. That problem you're trying to solve is what streamlines the kind of questions you'll be asking. Now, you've gotten the data. Now, you then analyze that data to find out, how to solve that problem based on, the comments people have made. An example is Netflix subscription. Is it expensive? Oh, how do you know it's expensive? How do you know maybe it's not expensive? You push out a questionnaire, people fill it in, and then you get the result. Now, if it's expensive, it's more than it's not expensive, you have drawn a conclusion that, oh, it looks like Netflix subscription is expensive, right? But look at that process. A questionnaire had to be set first. You needed the population, which are the people, and then you analyze the data. That's where the data analysis thing comes in, because somebody needs to have a skill to analyze the data. An example of a tool you will use to analyze the data is the Excel. So now you analyze the data in Excel, you get your result, and then you go to, maybe the company asking you to do the analysis. Oh, boss, this is the result of the analysis. We can confidently say that Netflix subscription is expensive. That's it. Now, that's a typical example of a very simple point A to point B, let me say A to Z of all these things we are even talking about. That's a simple example. We call it end to end, right? Now, within that process, within that within all that process, right? Now, I did describe the simple example, but now people are now building apps to collect data. People are using Power BI to analyze the data, right? When the data is very large, you can't use it. You can't use Excel. That's where SQL comes in. Oh, we need a language to properly dive into this data and analyze it. So the thing now becomes, it's getting bigger, right? The data wrangling part, because some data now can be a video, right? Some data can be text. Some data can be numbers, right? Some data can even be JSON format, right? That's where the data engineers now come in and, look at a way to harmonize all this data and then push it to the data analyst or the data scientist, to now analyze that data. So it's just one simple process that is becoming complicated because of the increasing number of data that we have out there right now. Yes, so beginners often struggle with mastering both, especially since there is a lot of information to absorb. Like I said, a lot of information to absorb, but just think about it in a very simple way. It's actually very, very simple. It's just that you might need time to, uh, 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 get that your skill up to 100%. Okay, moving on. Now, lack of real-world experience is also one of the challenges. Many newcomers to data analysis may have academic, knowledge, but lack hands-on experience in the data analysis, right? Now, for me, like I said, I'll be using myself as, a typical example here. For me, I didn't have experience because I started by going to a school. The school then was ELP School Africa. It was before COVID, so we were physical. It was supposed to run for 6 months, but we ended up doing 8 months because, some people did not understand the things on time, So it ended up being 8 months. Now, within that 8 months, I'd been looking for internship, which was not easy at all because during our own time, people were just getting to embrace, all these big data thing, right? Yes, they've been embracing outside world, but right there here in Lagos, it was more like it was just coming up. So you needed to have, my employer as a data analyst, but you're also doing many other things, So yeah, so I finally saw an internship, so where to do my internship, but if I tell you how much I was collecting, but then I needed the real world experience, right? So I started with 20,000 naira. I mean, that's being frank, 20,000 naira for the internship. Yes, if I think things are now expensive, let's multiply it by 3 now. So I'll if we in the world of today now, because of the different things happening in the country, change in government, let's say it was 60,000 as of today. But I had that passion. I needed to relate all these numbers because we are not doing Excel, we are doing SQL. I don't even know how we apply it in the real world, you know. Anyway, so moving on. So in this analysis, practical application is key. It's actually very key. Finding opportunities for real world practice through internship, project, freelance work can be sometimes difficult. Now I was doing freelance then too. So I needed to quickly relate these things. So I registered in what's the word? Trying to remember the second before Upwork. We had Fiverr. Yes, I registered in Fiverr. Now Fiverr changed my life entirely because I didn't even have a mentor. Many people were talking about mentor there. I didn't have any mentor. The only mentor I had was the teacher teaching us then. I was like, this guy, he's doing fine. As at then, he had even quit, jobs. He was more like a consultant, and he was training people in that school. He, collected a very big building and stuff. So that was the only guy I had. I didn't really have people to put me through, you know. So, I got my first gig on Fiverr, and even though, I'd been watching YouTube after the class, I will go still watch YouTube and trying to connect the dots. Then I got a job on Fiverr. If I remember, it was $150. The first job I got was $150. It was a student project. And, even though I didn't really know everything, but, I was very confident that at least, I will be able to crush this thing out. I will be able to solve this problem. Now, me jumping on it is a skill I have gotten way before becoming a data analyst, right? Because sometimes in life, you just need to go get what you need to go get, right? So I had that uh at the back of my mind. So, got the job, but trust me, I did that job for like 2 weeks. A job that today it would take me just like 1 or 2 hours to finish it. I did it in 2 weeks because it was so painful. The things I had to do in Excel. I didn't know, right? I didn't know. I wanted to separate things by comma. I started copying it one by one, pasting it. I did it. So it took a long time, very long time. I don't sleep. But it was always after office hours too. So after office hours, I will get to it, do it. And by that, I was, how they say experience is the best teacher. The moment I discovered it, there's something like ChatGPT, right? So I just like, sometimes even constructing what you need to, even constructing the question you want to ask in YouTube can be challenging as well. Because if you don't construct it well, you start getting gibberish. And because you don't even know what the answer is supposed to look like, you are very confused. So much information, and you don't even know how to streamline it. So I, was able to submit the analysis, and this guy gave me 5 star, like 5 star job. And then he gave me another one of the same amount. We got so close that we started chatting on WhatsApp. Then I was, part of the internship job took me to uh, Lagos Island. So coming back inside all these BLT buses, we got talking and all, and it was a great experience. So real world experience, very key. You can get it through internship, you can get it through freelance, and you can get it through projects. Put yourself out there. In fact, there are different what do we call it? Uh uh I don't know what it's called, but basically when people put things out, oh, who can solve this problem, and then you should be able to jump on it at a price, right? Because they will give you price for the best 3 or 4 people, at the end of the day, that is able to solve that problem. So yes, real world experience, very key. Moving on. So understanding the business context. It's easy to get up in the technical aspect of data analysis, very easy. But interpreting and communicating results within the business context is crucial. Now, this is how I need you people to think. Think like you are trying to solve a business problem, a business challenge. You are trying to increase revenue for a company, basically. That's what you're trying to do. Everybody working in an organization today is trying to have that hedge over every other person. And how do you do that? Finance will be doing their own, operations are doing their own. You are the data guy. You are supposed to be doing your own as well. So we need to start thinking like we are trying to solve a problem in an organization. An example of a problem solving is this. Oh, why are our sales going down? What's happening? Are we losing customers? What's going on? A simple example would be like, okay, let me pick out customers that did, maybe say top 10 customers that transacted last month. And let's see whether they have transacted this month. So you have that number side by side. Oh, first 10 last month, next 10. First 10 last month, have they done any transaction this month? And then if you see that, oh, there are like 2 or 3 people that have not done any transaction this month. That is you. That is what you are supposed to be doing. You then take that to the whoever is in charge of sales or something, or to the management. Oh, our sales is going down because these 3 top guys have not transacted in this month. And then the next action will be, oh, who are they? You give them the names, the 3 names. And then the account manager of those people will then call. Oh, hello, person A. We see that you have not done any transaction with us this month. What's going on? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm on vacation, so things are a little, I'm not doing any business right now. Simple. Another one. Oh, your service was bad. I was trying to log in and nothing was working. Oh, we are sorry. We're doing some maintenance then. Now we are back. Come back to transact. That is the thing you are trying to solve. That is where your head needs to be at. Yes, you will still get to the technical part where you are, using the Excel or using the Power BI or writing scripts, but your head should be where you are trying to solve problem. Okay? Now, beginners may struggle with translating data insight into actionable business decisions, presenting findings in a way that is not technical to stakeholders, because that's also key. You always want to speak normal language, normal business language. Sometimes people that are cold, they are always having that problem of communicating, properly to management, right? But you, on the other hand, you are supposed to be like the old, you are a team of yourself, right? You should be able to be technical. You should be able to communicate the insight. Forget all this beautiful, you have many dashboard now online that, oh, it's just very beautiful, but are they communicating anything? Trust me, management doesn't want to say anything beautiful. Hey, what is the problem? How can we solve the problem? That's it. Simple, clear term. It can just be a sentence, maybe in your summary statement. This is it, this is it, these are the solutions I'm providing. That's it. Business. That's where, the mind is supposed to be at. Moving on. Yes, imposter syndrome. Many newbies feel like they don't belong in a data field because they might not have a computer science or advanced mathematics background. Me, I did urban and regional planning. That was what I did. And I used to work in Abuja, right? I worked for 6 years, I think. Yes, I was always the one doing the analysis part, you know. So, in fact, I was even doing projects for people, right? The chapter 4 part, all these SPSS and Excel. So, I already started, it was something I already enjoyed doing, So, but my background was in urban and regional planning. Before now switching to, data analysis, yes, I'll be honest with you, it was very overwhelming because there were too many information and I did not even know what to do with it. Okay. Now, they often compare themselves to others who seems more experienced or have formal education, which can lead to feeling of imposter syndrome. Forget it. Even now, right? You can even start if you need to, because yes, there are some people that focus, oh, I need to get into Google. You've read their requirement. There is nothing stopping you now from engaging in okay, let me go and do a computer science course. You can do that online these days, right? And then it's just mostly always 2 years, right? And then you just have that. It's part of growing. Okay. I can decide to do that now if I need, if I'm focusing on, I need to get into this place. Because obviously every organization also have their own standards. Some people is only first class they collect. But data analysis job is very numerous these days. I think these days the only challenge we have now in the field is that the senior data analysts are kind of scarce. Those are for people for bigger roles. Yeah. So there's no need to feel like you need this thing. Even in my last organizations, in fact, one of them called me that they just had to call that did I graduate? Because I already started the work before even submitting all my credentials. You understand? I already started doing the work because most times they just send you an assessment and then you just uh, uh, how you do, right, is what makes them employ you. And I think that's what organizations are looking for these days. Nobody's looking for all these things. Can you do the work? If you can do the work and they know that you can do the work, you get the job. Okay, so there's no need to feel that imposter syndrome. Uh, Moving on. Yes, this is the stressful part. You know, when anytime you see gold now, or diamond, let's use gold for example, it had to pass through fire, right? Before it became very fine. Data cleaning and preparation is always very taxing, but over time you find it interesting. I did say I was, separating commas in a very silly way. And yes, the fiber work, kept coming in. You know how it works now. Once people see and they rate, they recommend, you know, even oftentimes I might be in the supermarket because I remember one time I was in the supermarket and then I got a gig. And then when I saw the mathematics, it was like, no. When I saw what that guy was trying to do, it felt like he was trying to maybe construct like a nuclear bomb or something because it was so advanced. I had to tell him like, no, I can't do this one. I don't know what he was trying to do, but the way that was the first thing that came to my mind because of the way I saw that calculation. Like, no, please, I'll tell you, no, sorry, this is not for me yet. So you know, that's just on the side, just to tell you that once you get into that ladder and people see your work, people see what you are doing, they'll keep recommending you, and then you will end up be the one that saying that I'm okay, I'm good for now. Now, a lot of data analysis work actually involves cleaning and preparing messy data. Now, the example I gave earlier, Google Form. Google Form is a structured way of collecting data. You designed it. You can put compulsory fields in there, and then allow people fill it the way it should be. That is is an example of collecting data in a structured way. However, not all data are structured, right? Some are just all over the place. Maybe somebody just exported something from somewhere, you know, maybe somebody just exported something from somewhere, and then I see some things moving around. Rewan Ajani, what's going on? I see. I don't know if anyone sees it on my screen. It's like somebody's writing something. Okay. Anyway, so a lot of work goes into actually cleaning the data. It's always messy sometimes. All right. There are different steps. Anyway, these steps, which can often take up majority of the time in the project, can be frustrating for beginners who may not know the most efficient method for dealing with missing values, duplicates, or inconsistencies in the data. This is actually very key. I did not know. I did not even know how to Google my problem, you know. But at the end of the day, I later knew after suffering for like 2 weeks, you know. So the mentorship thing, very key. Belonging to a community, very key. Because if I belong to a community, then I would have just typed in the group chat, hey guys, how can I sort this matter, right? And because I could have asked in the school I was going to, but I'm always this person that I believe I can solve this thing. But anyway, we thank God for today anyway. So ask questions. What you are trying to do for 24 hours, somebody can fix it in like a few minutes. ChatGPT is there now. There was nothing like that before, right? Now, don't get too addicted to ChatGPT. Just see it as an assistant, right? Because the truth is that it has come to stay. It has come to stay. Try as much as possible not to allow ChatGPT to write your codes for you, especially in this early stages. You become very lazy, right? So, but do the work, basically. Do the work, experience it. Because when you get to by the time you get to real work, you can easily function. There are some people that cannot work under pressure. They Once there is pressure like this, everything in their head is gone. But if you actually did the work, right, no pressure can come on you, and then you won't be able to solve it. All right. Thank you. So moving on. So finding a clear career path. The data world is vast, and data analysis is a broad umbrella that can encompass roles like data scientist, data analyst, data engineer, and more. Now, somebody asked the question, difference between data analyst, and data scientist. So it all depends on how deep you want to go. Now, when I was doing my internship, they asked, I mean, my boss then asked the question, like, what are my goals, right? Like at the end of the day, after this internship, just like we're asking here, what kind of analyst do you want to be, basically? So he asked. So I thought about it. I'm like, for me, I want to be an end-to-end type of analyst, meaning that I want to be able to collect the data. I want to be able to store the data. I want to be able to process that data. I want to be able to analyze that data. And I want to be able to show the results, using all these Power BI tools, right? So that was my own scope. Some people said, oh, I just want to be able to like clean data. I just want to be like a, so those people, cleaning, collecting, transforming the data, we call them data engineers, right? So it's basically an ETL kind of thing. However, it goes deeper because they also need to provide the environment that they are trying to put this data into. Now, the simplest form is data analysis. If you are using Excel to analyze data, you're a data analyst. If you are using Power BI, you're a data analyst. Now, data scientist comes in when you now want to start moving into machine learning and AI. Now, however, before even a data scientist will even collect the data, because data has to be clean, data analyst and data engineer would have worked on it. Now, sometimes a data analyst can also do some work that a data engineer does. As you advance, you really don't want to, except you are working in a very structured environment, but you realize that, especially in this part of the world, you might need to know this, know this, know this. And knowing this and knowing that is what actually separates you from the crowd. So I will encourage having a bit of knowledge in, different things. So the data scientists are more advanced. They are more like front end. So they will do the machine learning, right? They will also, do the AI part. The moment you start adding that to your career path, you are already becoming a data scientist. Now, I'm not a data scientist. Yes, if you, like I said, knowing this and that, so that when they are doing their presentation, it doesn't just come as a shock to you, right? But as a data scientist, you need to know a lot of statistics, all this ANOVA, all this, what do we call them? Uh, uh, Forgotten their names, right? All these branch trees, all those statistical things, right? You need to actually know them. And when I say know them, actually knowing them, like pen and paper. Oh, what is supposed to be the result of this formula? Those are the calculations. Those calculations are what you apply using either an Excel or whatever, or the Python. Understanding it first before you start typing codes, basically. So you need an understanding. So I do some, data engineering as well. I do all my ETLs myself. Yes. Remember I said I started in 2019, so I'm not asking everybody to go and know everything now. The simplest form is data analysis. Start with the Excel, then move your way up. Yes. So this can make it challenging for newcomers to figure out which career path to pursue or which additional skills they should focus on learning to match industry demands. The funny thing is that even as we in the industry now know, a bunch of things, it has become like there is always an update every day. There is always something new coming out. And then even Power BI, you might just open it one day and it says there is an update. And then you need to go and read uh, the update they push out, because they usually tell you what they have added or what they have improved. So, and then you already have a load of work to do. So, but you just need to find the time, because If you want to continue to become relevant, you need to start adding, the new technologies to your portfolio as well. But yes, we guys are still newcomers. So basic form, data analysis, and then you can, for tools, start with Excel. After you know Excel, I think you should be able to know. So it's not like you need to know Excel 100%. Now, I remember I thought I knew Excel, and sometimes because of the organization you are working with, uh, the tools you use, because you will need to use the tool the organization is using, and their work process is also what you might need to like follow, except institutions where you are now advanced. Right now, I can recommend what the work process should be. In fact, I'm the one that is supposed to do that because of my role, you know. But as a beginner, remember when I first worked, what we usually use the Excel for was basic data cleaning, like restructuring the data and stuff like that. So, I could clean data with Excel. Hey, fast, I've cleaned the data. you know, we're doing a project for uh Ikeja Electric back then, and they had to export a lot of data to us, and then I cleaned it. ASAP, data cleaned. Then I had an interview with MTN, and then they brought out the interview questions, and then I saw VLOOKUP there. Now it's not like I did not know VLOOKUP. It was just like I needed. I always depended on the assistance of the prompt that comes up on the laptop in the Excel. But this exam was paper. It was like paper, and I couldn't remember which one should come first, which one should come next. That's why I'm saying that practically knowing it, right, is also very key. Now, these days, many data analysts just feel like they just want to dive into it. Man, you guys need to read books, like business books. You get what I mean? You need to read books. I will try and check if I still have those books then. There was one particular book that they recommended for us then. It had everything inside, very big book like that. But yeah, everything is online now, right? So you actually need to read. It's going to broaden your mind, because your mind needs to be broad. They said if you don't know, you don't know. Right? But when you start reading these things, see how people are solving problems, your brain starts to tick. Oh, why did I not think about that? Because when I was using a lot of effort to clean data, I'm always like, come on, why did I not think like that? Am I this dumb? But when you start seeing what people are doing, it opens up your mind. You are seeing the bigger picture. And what is the bigger picture? Solving business challenges. That is everything. These other parts are just the technical part that you need to use to equip yourself in order to solve that business challenge. Because if they have brought the data to you and you don't know how to talk to the data, you can't solve any problem. Okay? Moving on. Now, I even talked about this not long ago, right? Staying up to date with trends, right? The field of data analysis evolves quickly, very quickly, with new techniques, new algorithms, and tools emerging all the time, right? For newcomers, it can be hard to keep up with the latest trends, ensuring they don't invest time in learning outdated method of tools. Yes, very key. You don't want to go and learn a tool that is outdated, right? We used to have Google Data Studio, and then we had Looker. They were separated. But now the two it has been matched, right? So imagine you now trying this. Although if you still put it up, it will still I mean, it's just going to like direct you to Looker. But imagine trying to learn a tool that has already expired, you know. But the things that do not expire are codes. Yes, there can be an upgrade, but it's always very, little. Like an SQL, select all from table will always be select all from table. Those ones hardly, change, except you are working in a different environment. Like for Google now, the syntax may be a bit different from Microsoft SQL, but it's almost the same thing. You get what I mean? So you need to keep up. Before you say you want to go and learn something, is it current? Well, Excel is always Excel. Now, the VLOOKUP I was talking about. Now, there is a new one, XLOOKUP. I think from Excel 2010 and below, you won't find, if you type XLOOKUP, it's not going to pop up, right? But I think 2010 and above, if you type the XLOOKUP, it's going to pop up. That is Excel adding, updating the Excel. So you need to keep up. So I was having challenges writing down what VLOOKUP formula was, whereas XLOOKUP has now come out. You understand what's going on? XLOOKUP is a new, way easier. I guess everything is easy though, but it all depends on the one you want to be able to use. But it's not just writing it. You need to know it. So keep up with the trend. Things keep changing. Visualizations now, even after you do your Power BI report, there are ways to enhance the report. When I was doing Power BI back then, I just basically will, just put up the thing, right? But now people are using as Figma to design, templates to use on the Power BI, right? Now, if I want to do a Power BI report, instead of just picking colors randomly, I already have, where I, document. There's a site, I think Pixel. I think it's Pixel. Yeah. Tells you colors that, blend together so that you just don't go and do something that is, there are some reports that you see now, and then even seeing it, the manager is already having headache. You understand? So if you go to some of these sites, they already kind of list out, colors that match, right? And even the color codes are there. You can then now use that to do, whatever reports you are doing. It could even be in PowerPoint. You don't just spray colors everywhere, right? So yes, keep up with the trend. Keep up with trend. There are many ways. So I used to use Talent Studio, local studio, to do ETL. Is a tool that some data engineers use. But now Talent has phased out. Like we had to look for a way to migrate our ETL from Talent to maybe Python or whatever tool we decide to move to. So somebody who is going to learn, somebody who's thinking of learning Talent Open Studio desktop is already dead on arrival, because the tool has been, they no longer release any new versions of it. Like, things have happened now. Okay, so stay up to date with trends. Networking and mentorship, that's why we are here, right? Finding the right community or mentor is essential, but can be challenging. You have data Sally here. If this is a community, you have challenges, you can always ask. I did say, when I was explaining earlier, that if I have had a community, maybe a WhatsApp group, I will have posted. Although the later, had a WhatsApp group, I will have posted, oh, who is experiencing this? Now, I'm in so many communities that when people drop questions, you can even learn from the answers they are getting, even if you are not the one, dropping that questions. Yes, newbies often struggle to connect with industry professionals who can guide them or offer practical advice on career development. All we are doing now is practical advice, like very practical as it can be. So always network. If you see that, I think there are many other programs, people do programs in Lagos here. Attend, just to broaden your mind. Attend. If you can do, I have a card, so I used to share it. Network, you never know when somebody can call you, you know. Yeah. Moving on. So, yes, the most important part, breaking into job market. Excuse me. Yeah, so with the growing demand for data professionals, there are many job opportunities, but there's also a lot of competition, especially for the entry-level roles. Many entry-level data analyst roles ask for several years of experience, which can be discouraging for those who are just starting. Breaking into the field without direct experience can be challenging. Now, it's very key. I saw a post the other day, data analyst, 1 to 3 years experience. And I'm like, I saw the things the person will be doing. I'm like, this is like an entry level role. But then data is very sensitive. Nobody wants to expose you to data you cannot manage. Mistakes. Because when you tell a company, like those 3 customers I was talking about, that I see that, oh, they have not done any transaction. What if I made a mistake? And then they now call somebody, I've not done transaction. I'm like, I did transaction yesterday. Like, what are you people doing? It reduces trust. Like, so this company is not even serious. I think I need to start looking for another company. So that is why organizations want to employ people that at least have some experience. Now, your experience can come in 2 ways. Let me share my own experience. So I saw this international role, and then they were asking for 5 years experience, I think. You know, so I spoke to the lady that, lady, I mean, I wrote her a message. I don't have this experience. However, I have this number of projects I've worked on. And she was like, wow, you worked on this number of projects? And I got that gig. So if you have been working on projects, real life projects, right, it's also a leverage for you. Because when she saw everything I've done, it's the wealth of knowledge. They just like compartmentalize. I mean, they make the whole thing compact, like, oh, within 3 years, this person should have had this number of experience. However, within a year, it's possible to have it if you are hardworking, right? By jumping on different projects. I have a personal project. You can also decide to have a personal project. Now, you can't just have a project. The project you have, it should be a project that is trying to solve a problem. Now, where I stay, there is a big problem. So, we pay estate dues, and then people just pay cash or transfer, and then they give us receipt. But I am renting this place. The name on my sender name is going to be different from the uh, name of the landlord that is on the register list. How do they marry this thing together? Now, I have a solution, although I don't want to propose it because I'm too busy right now. I have a solution. There are different apps. So in my own line of, along the line, I learned Java, I learned CSS, I learned HTML. Not into deep, but I can actually build something. So I built different web apps. I'm a data analyst too, but I did say that I wanted to be an end-to-end person, meaning that I need to be able to collect structured data. So the solution is this: web app. Everybody that is within, obviously when people enter the estate, they will collect their data. So you see your data in there. Go to your home page. If you want to pay your dues, after paying, upload the receipt, right, on your portal. And then the only thing the secretary or the financial person will be doing is confirming that the receipts you uploaded, right, we actually got the money in the account. And that way, that matching thing is done. You understand? That is a problem that one can solve. So you're a problem solver, basically. You're trying to use your skills to solve that problem, right? So yeah, the experience, if you can jump on many projects within your community, personal projects, right? It's also a way to add to your portfolio. Now, these challenges, white off, are surmountable with persistence, continuous learning, and proactive approach. Many people get tired. My younger brother, went to pay for, high class data analysis training. And then by the time they got to a part, he told me that, bro, it's like my head cannot carry this thing again, you know, but, gave up. Although he's back now, all right, trying to like learn the thing again, you know. So you need to be persistent, because it might look, the whole thing might just look like gibberish, but trust me, it's in your head. By the time you start working, the dots will start connecting to each other. We'll be like, oh, that was what we did back then. Oh, so this is how to apply it. So keep taking it. It's the projects. By the time you start implementing project, it will start helping you connect all those dots together. Now, data analysis is a field where practical skills, practical skills, problem solving and communication are key. problem solving, and being able to communicate the result of the problem you have solved. Because if you can't communicate it well, then there's a problem. So getting hands-on experience through projects, internship, online challenges, that was what I was looking for before, can really help overcome some of these obstacles. Online challenges, internship, projects. You can do a project on your own within your community. Hey, how can I solve this? You understand? And if you are in a community, you can share the idea. In fact, ChatGPT will even give you the ideas. Oh, how can I solve this problem using data analysis? Right? It will give you all different ways you can go about it. And then you can now, break it down little by little. And then you now start solving it one after the other. If you belong to a community who are having this challenge, drop it. And then they can now talk about it. Before you know it, if the project is a good project, you can monetize it. Like the one I mentioned now, although I'm going to do it for them for free. But you can monetize it because I'm pretty sure the United States are having the same problem. I don't know yet. I've not done my survey, right? I've not done my research, but at least we are having it here. It's solvable. And then before you know it, people start coming and how can we make this bigger? How can we make this bigger? That's how you do it. That's how you do it. I think this is the last, yeah, that's the end. So I think it's time to answer questions. So my light is on again. So let me try and go to the Zoom and see what's going on in. Oh, it looks like there are a lot of things here already. I see link. Okay. Can you still hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
All right, so it's question time.
Yeah. So please drop your questions in chat. Drop your questions and the speaker will answer them. All the questions that have been bothering you, and the speaker has taken time to explain, to address some of the issues. So it's time for you to drop your questions, drop it in the chat, and then the speaker will explain, will answer your questions.
I did see some questions before. I'm surprised. Okay, let's take the question. I'm surprised there are no questions. Abi, everything I've said is overwhelming.
Okay, we have a question here. What's the difference between Google Form and Typeform?
It's the same thing. It's just being designed by different companies. Google Form is fine. Typeform is fine. It's just the way they designed it is different. I think Typeform is for Microsoft, while Google Form is for Google. So
Okay.
you can use anyone you prefer.
Okay, that question has been answered. Thank you. Okay, more questions, please. More questions. Ask all those questions that you have on your mind that's been bothering you. Yes, and before we started, some people dropped questions. So I think you can start with that.
I think I already
How
answered
do
some of
I,
them. Let me see.
okay, how do I make myself employable? That's one of the questions. Okay, you
Okay.
addressed it, right? Yeah, but you can
Yeah.
still throw more light on it.
Yeah. So how do you make yourself employable? The first step is to learn. And I think Sally is a course is happening in April. That's next month. So the first thing is to learn, right? After you learn, because it's what you learn that you're going to use. So after you learn, the next step, learning does not stop basically. So even after you finish with the course, you need to keep learning. The next step will be preparing a portfolio, right? And how do you put things into that your portfolio? Is by having project internship, right? It can be 6 months internship. It can even be 3 months internship, but keep putting in the work. You right? If you have projects you want to jump on, or you have people that jump on projects, you can decide to like collaborate with them so that, because you were also involved in the project, so that you can add that to your CV as well. And then yes, job market these days is saturated, right? But you need to just keep sending, keep sending. And for some of us that already have the experience, we can give you direct link to, oh, you're looking for a data analyst here, can you do the job? So that's part of networking, right? So yes, I've mentioned the first steps. So just take it like that. Don't overwhelm yourself. I did say that only knowing Excel can be enough sometimes. But yes, you want to have that competitive edge, so learning the other skills. You don't need to know it 100% yet, but if you understand it at least 60%, right, you are good to go. The other things are learned on the job.
Okay, thank you so much. More questions, or has the speaker cleared your doubts? Has he answered everything? Ask your questions. This is the time. You might not have the opportunity to ask these questions again. So yeah, so we are waiting for your questions on the charts, and I'm reading, I'm checking. I've not seen. I think one challenge again that people have is mentorship, and you've addressed that they can join communities and ask questions, because if you're in your bedroom learning alone, you won't be able to get help, right?
Yeah.
So we need more questions. If there are no questions, we're going to call it a day. Is everyone good? If you think you're good, you can send in an emoji just to confirm your doubts have been cleared, your questions have been answered. Hello? Okay. Oh, wow. Very impactful. Awesome. Thank you. I think something happened with the link. A lot of persons are, your name is showing as Salvation Peter. Yeah, so something happened with the link. So sorry about that. Okay, we have a question here.
How do you navigate jobs in data when most of them are not? There are entry roles. There are many entry roles. Yes, they also try to like push it up, in such a way that, oh, they want the best skill. In fact, I saw a developer role and they want to pay just 1.2 million. I'm like, with 8 years experience. So they also do their own, you understand? But I'm pretty sure there are many entry level roles. So yes, you might start by understudying somebody at first. And then if you're already working somewhere, you can start data analysis department. If you're already working somewhere else, like people that I work with now, some have chatted me up. Hey, can I start learning data analysis from you? If there are things you think I can do, right? I push it to them. Like that, they're already transitioning, you know? So what I do is that I talk to HR. Oh, this person reached out to me. Is this allowed? Then they tell me the rules. Some say no problem, that they're also trying to like build the department. Some say, oh, after office hours, but just make sure that you don't break rules, right? So you can learn, if you're currently employed somewhere, start the data analysis department. It's one way to go about it.
Okay, thank you very much. I think just to add from what you said previously, that you can have projects, really outstanding projects that you've created by, just like the experience you shared. You said that the job you applied for needed a higher years of experience, but you showcased your projects that you've worked on, excuse me, and you were accepted, you were offered the job. So I think another thing they can also do to stand out, because most times those entry level roles, people rush it so much and it's not everywhere. Yeah, because of how people rush the entry level roles, I think recruiters are now making it seem difficult. They'll put a lot of expectations added to the job description, and at the end of the day, looking at it, you're scared. Can I do this? So
Say
yeah.
something about that. Don't be scared. I did a recruitment for a company recently, and I saw people adding their blood group to the CV. Like some CVs were so bad. So don't be, on LinkedIn, if you go there and you want to apply, you see like maybe 200 people have already applied. Don't be scared. Some people are just jargon, right? Submit your own. Submit your own regardless. As I was saying blood group, I've never seen that in my entire life before, that people actually put blood group and genotype on their CV. Yeah, no problem. Some other questions are here. Because like people have just woken up. You're on mute.
Sorry, which part of Excel is essential to data science?
So all parts, I would say all parts. Yes, you don't need to go to the advanced part. I did say earlier, what I was using data, Excel was to clean data before I started doing the pivot and all these things, you know. So I would say learn once you start. An example, if you join the next cohort now, right? What you need to learn is what they will teach you. You just need to like expand on it. So, and you are trying to streamline yours to analyzing data. So it means that you are trying to learn how to clean data. You are trying to learn all this VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, some ifs, right? Those are things relevant to you. You are trying to learn how to do pivot tables. Practically in this Nigeria, I don't think anybody's interested in a dashboard in Excel. But people do it. You can just use it to test your skills. But the most important thing is communicating properly and solving business problems.
Okay, thank you. The next one is, with the fast pace at which artificial intelligence is evolving, should I be afraid as a data analyst?
Don't be afraid. I did say earlier, AI is here to stay. You need to look for a way to make it your companion. No, unstructured data, people will still be collecting unstructured data till tomorrow. You understand? Some people, it will still be there. So that is part of your job, right? So AI is not going to replace that anytime soon, except there is a way. TikTok, many things that people are talking. You understand? Yes, AI can convert it into sentences, but how do you now? If somebody says we need to still program the keywords, in fact, it's a data scientist that programmed the AI in the first place. It's part of the team that programmed the AI in the first place, So it has come to stay, making your companion, it makes your work easier, It's just like an assistant to me right now, anyway.
Okay, so let's take this last question. I think our time is up already. Can you still hear me? Hello?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. What is the latest trend in data? The most sought after language in data currently if you want to remain competitive. Since Excel can't handle big data, do you think it is worth the stress of learning Excel in a world of big data? So you can combine the two.
Okay, yeah. So for language, the first thing you should learn is SQL. That's very key. That's how you communicate with the database. The next language you should learn is Python. SQL first. With SQL alone, you can function properly. You can be learning the Python on the job. Yes, just do basic. Python is even very easy. You understand? It was not easy when I first started too, but at the end of the day, you find that it's pretty straightforward, right? So, but language, learn SQL first, it's not going anywhere. Then for Excel, yes, you need to learn Excel. Where do we mostly use Excel? I have my own department. I'm going to share something with customer experience team. I'm not going to share, maybe it's an ad hoc request. I'm not going to share the SQL, right? I will need to analyze data, put it in an Excel, and then share with them. And even within the Excel, if they still want to streamline the analysis to a specific entity, I'll do that in the Excel. So Excel is not going anywhere.
All right, thank you so much. Let me not mispronounce your name this time around. Mr. Adedayo. All right. Thank you so much for the time. You've exhaustedly broken down the topic, talked about the topic, and I think some people said that your session is impactful. So I think you've answered most of their questions, and we're glad about that. Thank you so much for your time. Yeah. All right. So quickly, I dropped the link for our community. The speaker talked about joining a community. So you can join Data Sally community. And then he also mentioned our wait list. So we are starting the next cohort in April, and we have a wait list running. I'm going to drop the link in chats quickly. I'm doing it now, so you can fill it and join. Okay, so this is going to help you prepare. It's not free. The webinar is free. You come, you learn, you're exposed to a lot. And our webinar is for every month. So by April, we'll have another one. This is just to help you answer your questions, educate you about data and all that, because it's not everywhere. A lot of times you're asked to join a boot camp, you're asked to pay money to learn, or even free programs, but nobody is breaking down these things to you. Nobody is making you, or if it's out there, just a few platforms do that to explain these things to you and tell you how to begin the journey, what tools to focus on. So this is what Data Sally is doing, creating these webinar programs, inviting people to share their experiences. This is just to guide you, hold your hands through the journey. So join our community. I've dropped the link for the wait list. You can fill it to join the next cohort. We have, for this cohort, we have data analysis, we have data science. So the data analysis comprises of Excel, SQL, that's SQL, Power BI. So this is going to set up the foundation for you. Then we have for data science. For data science, you should at least have a basic knowledge of programming, not too much. At least you should understand some little concepts here and there, basics to set you up, because like the speaker said, his brother registered for a data science class and then he got tired along the way. That's what happens to a lot of people. They are all geared up, they are all motivated. I want to do data science, I want to learn Python and all that. And at the end of the day, when it gets heated up, they run away. So you shouldn't be like that. That's why we put up this, that you should at least have a basic understanding. The basic can mean you going to YouTube to try out things, just to know what this language is about, what programming is about. That will help you and get your mind ready when you come to class. So we have for data science and we have data analysis. So fill the waitlist form so that you can receive information on when the registration will begin for the main cohort the main cohort registration will begin. So any question regarding the cohorts, regarding our classes, the community, any question you have, you can drop it quickly in the next 3 minutes before we call it a day at this point. Hello, Sally. So Sally is here also. Do you have any, yeah, can you want to tell us? Okay, so, okay. Our classes are affordable. I'll tell you for free. So data analysis is 120K. Data science is 150. 150 is very cheap to learn data science. I remember one time when I wanted to learn, so I checked out different boot camps and their prices. And the one I saw that I was interested in, it's not Nigerian based, it's Africa, but not in Nigeria. I checked the amount, 1 million naira. I'm like, Jesus Christ, how am I going to get this money to register for the class? So that was a barrier for me. I couldn't register and I was sad about it. So we've made it really affordable for everyone. Data science is just 150K. Data analysis is 120K. And you're going to learn well. You'll be exposed. We take you through the basics. We don't just, like the speaker mentioned, you don't just rush into coding and you start coding. You will hit blocks on the way and you get discouraged. That's how some people begin and they stop. But we are going to take you through the basic concepts so that you will understand it from the really basic part, and then bit by bit we'll introduce the advanced parts to you. So also you work on projects, it's very practical, it's hands-on. Yeah. So any question before we end the meeting for today? Okay. Oh, okay. I'm seeing a message here. Is it the one I've already answered? Okay, so that's the price. And we don't leave you to just learn on your own. So any other question? Okay, so if there's no question, thank you for joining in. Thank you for being a part of the webinar. So this is where we close the curtain for March. Okay, am I hearing anyone say something? Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. So this is where we draw the curtain. Look forward to April's webinar. It's going to be mind-blowing. It's going to be powerful. Yes, so get ready for April. We already have a speaker for April. Yeah, and he's going to share his own experience, and this is a rare opportunity, I'm telling you. All right, thank you very much. Bye, 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 bye.